All right, we are back in business. Good morning. Happy holidays. Saturday, December 27th here at Odd Shopper and Tails. Time to talk about a little bowl season action. There's a bunch of games today. It's not like it used to be where you had great bowl games all the time and then New Year's Eve, blah, 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 New Year's Day. It's a little different schedule-wise. We got the playoff lurking. We're not talking playoff games today. We are talking a lot of action. And you know what? There's money to be made on these bowls. We're going to recap what we did yesterday, which was good, fortunately. We're going to get into some best bets today. We'll put them on the show. We'll answer some questions. We'll get out of here. A great way to start any Saturday. I'll let the people roll in. I'm going to stare at the snow. We got hit pretty hard. I don't know where you guys are at. I'm in New York. We got some snow. The ground is certainly covered. I can't tell how deep, but we got snow. And we got games today. We got Pittsburgh, 11 a.m. Eastern kickoff. We got Penn State, Clemson. I don't know what bowl that is. Obviously, there's a lot of jokes to be made with those two underachievers. You've got Georgia Tech and BYU. There was a world where those were playoff teams. Not that recently. Miami of Ohio and Fresno. Good luck there. North Texas and San Diego State. Virginia and Missouri. LSU and Houston. Weird ball game. Obviously, there's some excitement around this LSU team. No doubt about it. I got the injuries up here. We're going to try to work through all of it because the name of the game is who the hell is out there. And I'll be honest, to keep up with it is almost impossible. You got to go, in my experience, you'll drive yourself crazy if you're really you just can't keep track of it all. You have to know the basics. You get a broad stroke and you go for it. There's going to be times when you catch a bad result because of it. There's also going to be times, though, where you get a fortunate break, where a guy opted out on the other team that you didn't anticipate. You're getting, or the books didn't anticipate either, and you're getting some good value. So we'll talk through it right now, and let's start to get into it. Because if I wait any longer, Pittsburgh's going to move crossing 14 potentially. This line is moving in real time, and I do like that side. This Pittsburgh squad showed some real promise during the season. You know, we saw late in the year they had their opportunities. They had to beat Notre Dame, blah, 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 couldn't get it done. But then they did some real things. They smoked Georgia Tech, and then they got smoked by Miami. But it's still an 8-4 campaign, taking on an East Carolina team that's been fine. I have nothing against ECU. They're also 8-4. Level of competition is pretty weak. You know, they beat up on the Charlottes, the Temples, the Tulsas of the world. I don't think they're really going to be able to slow Pittsburgh down much. And that's where you see it reflected, not really in the total, but just in the game itself. Obviously, both teams, let's check the opt-outs. I don't see anything crazy. Obviously, one of the big things, ECU will be down a quarterback, it looks like. Everything else, a couple skill position players for Pittsburgh, but the core of them is there. I trust the defense. I don't know what ECU is exactly going to do, to be honest, but Hauser was in the portal last time I saw. And again, full disclosure, I am not up on every single bit of information. That's just not how I can do it. But I do like Pittsburgh. They were one of my first bets. I put them in a parlay early this morning. Anything inside 14. I don't know if it's moved over on DraftKings. Yep, it is. I mean, this has taken serious smoke. Because I'll show you guys right here. I was on Tails, which, again, you're not on Tails. Link in the description. It's the best. It really is. And this is all free content. Bets were obviously dropping in. Look, I have 6 notifications already. I'll show you that I already put in a 3-legger, as you can see. And look at this. I did this no more 4 minutes ago, and I have Pitt at minus 12.5. It pays to be early. 35 people already jumped on this. If you want to tail this bet specifically or any other bet, you can do so straight. Go to Tails. It's simple as that. I'll drop the link for you guys just to the post. You want to tail that exact bet. Very simple, very easy. But yeah, level of competition. Neo knows. He got it. I'm with you. I think Pitt kind of outclasses them. Obviously, there's more stability on the Pittsburgh side, especially a quarterback, blah, blah, blah. So that we're in business. So we'll click Pittsburgh inside 14. I'll click them over here because it's, well, again, this is crazy. Pittsburgh is taking serious money right now. Now, Penn State and Clemson, these two teams are disturbing. But I do like Clemson if I had to take a side here. Yikes. Obviously, I don't even know if their campaigns are worth talking about. It was just one after another of just problems for this team. It's just so hard to look at it. Klubnik, it didn't pan out. This Grunkmeyer guy, it's such a bad year for both. You have to wonder where motivation is at. But honestly, this is my honest thought. They were so bad that I actually think they'll be motivated. It wasn't like a heartbreaking. Clemson was 7-5. They won 4 straight to close the year. Now you could say Furman was in there, South Carolina, Florida State, and Louisville. How good was that? But honestly, how much better or worse was that than the rest of this? I don't think much. Penn State was 6-6. They won 3 straight to close the year. Michigan State, Nebraska, and Rutgers. I don't have a ton to say about these teams. Like I said, Grunkmeyer, he's got some experience now. He's a freshman. There's opt-outs, some big names for both teams. There's NFL caliber talent on these teams. Yeah, it is the toilet bowl. Both these teams, they should just not even have a game. They should just show replays of all the absolute terrible plays and the money that Penn State in particular cost me this season. It was immense, let me tell you. But they will, I have it on good authority, they're going to actually play the game. And I really do think that despite some of the issues that Clemson, Klubnik, they can get the job done here. The pass rush of Penn State, the pass defense of Penn State, it's solid. There's no doubt about it. But Clemson's defense is not far behind. They were pretty balanced. They weren't top 5, top 10, but they were top 30, 40 in most metrics. So like top 3rd in the country across the board, basically. I look at Clemson again. I'm trying to bring up a list of, there's not a ton in terms of major glaring issues. It's the same personnel, give or take. They're down some defenders, as are all these teams. It's no surprise. But I still think what Clemson wants to do won't be inhibited by anything they have going on, to be completely honest. So it is the toilet bowl. It's two teams that one of them is going to stamp a miserable year with a miserable effort today. And the other one, it's still miserable, but it'll be less miserable. Second leg of this parlay was obviously Clemson, so I think you guys know. I'm on Clemson. Pop-Tarts Bowl. Georgia Tech and BYU. 2 interesting teams here that had interesting years. I'm on the over. I also like BYU in the game. So I got a couple bets here. I have not bet BYU yet, but I'm going to at some point, barring something wildly unforeseen. I don't know what that would be. Georgia Tech, 9-3 on the season, but they lost 3 of 4. They blew a game to NC State. They got demolished by Pitt. Then they lost to Georgia. It's tough for them because their last game of the season is always against Georgia. That really doesn't help you unless you can win it, obviously, but they haven't been able to do that. BYU was a nemesis of mine all year. They beat every single team they played except Texas Tech twice. You can take it one of 2 ways. Texas Tech might be the best team in the country. Maybe they are. And BYU is like amazing. They're just running into a juggernaut. Texas Tech might also not be that good. And then by proxy, BYU might not be that good. I know it's not just about Texas Tech. It's not. But I do think that's a good barometer of what you think about the Big 12, what you think about Texas Tech matters in terms of what you think about BYU. I happen to think Texas Tech is really good. I think Oregon is really good too. That's another show for another time. I like the spot for BYU, though. I think they'll be ready to play. No doubt about it in my mind. And I think they're in a good spot here. Georgia Tech's defense. That's why I like the over too. Late in the season, just in the season in general, not great. I'm looking at see what I can find here for some opt-outs. It's so hard to do this because you got to go to Twitter. I don't see anything crazy, honestly. Really just two teams that should be motivated, that should be ready. And yeah, I think that BYU honestly just, I don't want to say outclasses them, but Bachmeier has been awesome all season. He's a legitimate dual threat on offense. We've seen some of that cause some problems for this Georgia Tech defense. And we look at Georgia Tech's defense, it's just bad across the board. They weren't good against the pass. They weren't good against the run. There's not any other categories to talk about. They're not a great defense. BYU, honestly, not that good either. I'd say the strongest point for BYU, if you want to look at like passing yards allowed per attempt, things of that nature, I'd say it's in that secondary. They're going to have to deal with the Georgia Tech, certainly Haynes King and whatnot. He's a mobile guy. But still, I don't worry about it. He takes a lot of hits, takes a lot of pressure. He can run. BYU is going to show that they're just a better team here. I think this is one. You have two teams that had some real promise. You've got a BYU squad that, again, outside of Texas Tech, they answered the call. And this is speaking against myself. I bet against BYU so much this year. I was positive that Iowa State was going to beat them. I thought Arizona was going to beat them, and they should have, full disclosure. I thought Cincinnati would handle them. They did not. BYU got the job done. Texas Tech crushed them twice, and it remains to be seen what that means. But Georgia Tech, on the other side, again, it's not just all about this. You look at this Georgia Tech team, and they're 9-3, as I mentioned. Their wins are non-existent because their huge win was Clemson. And at the time, it was like, wow, this is incredible. It didn't age well at all. Their win, they played Gardner-Webb, Colorado. I'm just going through the schedule. Temple, Wake, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Duke. I guess that aged all right. Boston College. Those are the wins. There's no ranked teams on there. There's no anything. They dodged SMU. They dodged Miami. They lost to Pitt. That's the top of the ACC. They dodged Virginia. I don't know how good Georgia Tech really will be. Pretty simple for me. BYU scores. If you want to look to a team total, sure. It's going to be pretty healthy, though. You're talking, probably might be around like 30. 30.5. I still like that, honestly. 31 for BYU. I think that's fine if you want to do that, but there's other ways to structure. Why not? We're living a little here. Again, keep an eye out for these picks over on Tails. The beautiful thing about this, you come over here. If you don't know who to follow, and following's totally free, go to the leaderboards. Look at this. It shows you who's been doing some really cool work. So many sharp people. Matt Kajewski, one of the best in college football. Long shot parlays. You want to say, man, this guy hit a 42-1. Look at this. Look at this ticket. Well, there you go. All sorts of crazy stuff going on there. And again, if you just say, I just want some picks, go to the picks feed. One click to tail. Literally one click. You say, okay, I'm in, and you're in. Look at that. It's so simple. It's so easy. I don't know what else I can say, man. It's been changing the game, and we're having so much fun doing it. I love putting in these bets, sweating it out with everybody. And just like I said, one-click tailing has changed the game. So get over to tails.bet. Come hang out. All right, BYU over 220 receiving yards. I could see it. I think they need to be pushed a little bit. They could control on the ground, but honestly, it's almost dealer's choice. They can attack any way they want, in my eyes at least. I think they'll have success there. Clemson, Penn State under. What's the number? I don't have it on the top of my head. Just thinking about it, 47.5. Well, I mean, if I had to make a pick there, it would be the under. So I get where you're going. Penn State, I think it really comes down to mostly the Penn State side and what they give you. I think there's a chance they don't give you much in a good way. Like 14 points, that means Clemson's got to score 34. If you like that, obviously just hit Clemson or short the Penn State team total. Now, if Penn State climbs into the 20s, it's a competitive game. It could get there. But yeah, I think that's a decent call out on the under in that spot. I like the early games more than the late games, to be honest. So I don't mind spending some time here because these ones, Miami, Ohio, and Fresno to me is the toughest game on the board. I don't know what to make of these teams, to be completely honest. You've got two wacky, like, it's not that their conferences are weird, but it's just there's a lot of parity in these. Non-con for the MAC is always just absolutely terrible. So they all start out 0-3, as did Miami of Ohio. They finished 7-6. I really don't know a ton about Miami of Ohio in terms of how good they are. You look at level of competition, it's obviously terrible. The one thing I can tell you for certain, I guess, is that their defense is pretty strong. It's a decent unit. I think that will translate against the Fresno State team that, again, it's little mysteries abound. They're 8-4. You look at what they've done. They closed winning 3 of 4. They crushed San Jose State in that last game. There is some things to like here, particularly they've got some decent weapons. I don't know what they're doing at quarterback, which is a little weird. Warner probably, but again, this is the type of stuff, I made some quick notes before the show. It's really difficult to know what the hell's going on here with this. Then on the other side, Miami of Ohio. Who are they starting at quarterback? I have not seen any confirmation of what's going on there. It looks potentially like, Finn is not there. So if you're wondering about that, he's definitely not there. He opted out already. But this other dude, he got hurt in the other game. And then Hessen, Gutkowski, they've got numerous guys that have a little experience. It's very difficult to know what they're doing. Again, if Hessen is forced in there, this is what he did on the season. He had 4 touchdown passes and 3 picks. He's a senior. There's not a lot to go off of with this. They've got some serious issues. So you've got a really strong defense for Miami of Ohio against potentially a non-existent offense with no quarterback, and not against in terms of their side. Then you've got Fresno, who should be a little more balanced. I trust their offense a lot more, and I would say their defense is worse than Miami of Ohio's. That's why this is I think a terrible game. It's just very difficult to figure out. I would like some confirmation on who's under center. You, of course, can bet this now, but you are betting somewhat blindly, in my opinion. Very difficult to know what is going on here with these two schools. Honestly, I think it's going to kind of be a pass for me. Lean to Fresno, pass for now. You might see a bet up there. All right, couple more, and then we'll bounce on out of here. Of course, I'm going to be betting throughout the day. Jazz Bets. I love college football. You guys know the drill. You can find me over there or just tweet me. No problems. I will be around all day because I got nowhere to go because it's snowing. San Diego State, North Texas. This is a cool game too because North Texas is awesome. Gotta love Mestamaker and what they've done. And they're playing a San Diego State team that's got some promise as well. A really strong defense. Really strong. So it's strength on strength. Can they move the ball on a San Diego State team that has really shown the ability to limit opponents, not just in the red zone, not just on the ground, but everywhere. 9-3 squad. They did lose to New Mexico late in the season, but New Mexico played pretty well yesterday. Mountain West in general has been fighting. Hawaii, don't get me started on that game. But North Texas has shown, they got 11 wins. Couldn't get it done versus Tulane and South Florida. Beat up on the rest. And when I say beat up, I'm talking 50-plus points in all these type of games. They score. They play crazy tempo. Their defense is not that bad. That's what I think is something that gets lost. If you look at North Texas and their defense, it seems like they're awful, but they're not. It's that the tempo is so crazy that it really makes it difficult to get a read on that. It's something that I think people may miss. So I actually trust North Texas a little more than most in that regard. Not on the card. I do lean this way, though, inside a touchdown. I just think ultimately, I think they have all the advantages on offense, from quarterback to the weapons. The line has been fantastic all year. If you look at their rushing splits, North Texas, so it's strength on strength. And San Diego State at times, I think, has struggled to put it all together. Don't really like the Mountain West. I know I'm bouncing back and forth between liking them and hating them because I just talked about Fresno, blah, blah, blah. Give me North Texas. Give me the mean green here. Good morning from Sacramento. Harry Potter, another man on tails. Find all his plays there as well. Go search him out. Virginia, Missouri, total of 43.5 seems real low. Well, we're on that game right now, so let's talk about it. See what's going on here. Yeah, I mean, Missouri, obviously they've got some personnel issues. They did get some opt-outs, but it's nothing crazy that I've seen in terms of what's going on here. Zollers will be at quarterback, and then I haven't seen any word that Chandler Morris is not playing or anything. Obviously, that would change things. I think this is mostly just Missouri's defense being very, very strong. They've been one of the best units in the entire country, and I'm not sure how much Virginia can and will be able to move the ball against them. It is a pretty methodical total. I mean, Virginia was a team. Somehow they overachieved, but they had it, and they let a couple of games they shouldn't have lost slip away. Wake Forest and Duke late in the season. I like the team though. I mean, Chandler Morris is solid. They've got obviously some running backs that can do some things. I mean, when you're winning games like that, there's no surprise that Virginia's a pretty balanced unit. It's all about Missouri for me here. Not in the sense I'm all about them just running away with the game. I do like them in the game. That is the side that I lean to. But Missouri is an 8-4 team. The losses are ridiculous. Alabama, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, and Oklahoma. Virginia hasn't seen anything like that. I mean, now you could also say, well, who did they beat? That's fair. They beat the bottom of the SEC. So obviously Missouri is somewhere where they belong. They're better than the Arkansas and Mississippi States of the world. They're worse than the playoff teams. I still think that's probably good enough for us here, as long as that defense travels, and it really should. Apparently, can't find this game over here, but I can find it here, so I don't really care. Yeah, give me Virginia and Missouri. Give me Missouri in the game. 4.5 at -105. Just making sure I haven't missed any crazy news. No, I don't see anything. Yeah, these teams look to be pretty intact, actually. So they should be up for the game. This should be a pretty good bowl game, all in all. I kind of like it. Yeah, give me Missouri. I'm warming up to taking a pretty big stand on them. So count me in. Final game, LSU, Houston. Lane Kiffin and whatnot, all that good stuff. That'll be a future season, blah, blah, blah. Van Buren, I haven't been super impressed with him, to be completely honest. LSU's had a weird year. Obviously, they had a coaching change, and whatnot. Houston's had a good year. They really have. Wegman, it's been solid, very solid. And they're a slight favorite in this game. I don't think that's wrong. And you look at what LSU's put on the field, there's a lot going on here because of the opt-outs. They're missing a bunch of guys, all sorts of players, from linemen to just – there's just a lot of guys here that I have seen that are not suiting up for them. They're not going to be the same team, and they weren't that good to begin with in terms of LSU. Still a really quality team, but it wasn't like this was the best team in the world. So you look at this, their secondary was kind of a strong point throughout the season. I just think personnel-wise, they're getting thinned out. Houston should be the quote-unquote healthier team. Just a matter of these balancing scales. Houston's more intact. LSU, I think, was more talented. Did it switch completely? Is it about even? It's crossed pendulums, balancing beams. I don't think this is the worst betting game. I think it's the second worst betting game. Miami of Ohio would be the first worst. I am going to lean with Houston. I don't really trust LSU's product on the field. I don't think Van Buren's the answer at quarterback. And I think Houston actually playing a low variance game with limiting turnovers would be enough here. Houston's defense is strong. They've been a good unit all year. Again, level of competition. I hate to bore people by saying the same thing over and over, but it is true. Level of competition is wildly different when you play an SEC schedule versus anything any of these other teams are going to give you. Houston, they're a fine team, but they didn't play these type of caliber opponents. They're 9-3. They lost to Texas Tech, West Virginia, and TCU. They didn't play anyone in non-con. They played Stephen F. Austin and Rice. LSU, I'm not a big LSU whatever. It doesn't matter. 7-5. They lost at Ole Miss. They lost to Vanderbilt. They lost to A&M. They lost to Alabama, and they lost to Oklahoma. That is 4 playoff teams and Vanderbilt. It's the same thing I said about Arkansas. The difference to me, I think Houston is better, or Arkansas, not Arkansas, Missouri, apologies. The difference is Houston's better than Virginia in my mind, and LSU lost a bunch of guys here, unlike Missouri, that's pretty intact. That's the difference for me on why I think Houston sets up a little better. It's weird breaking down bowl games like this, but to me, this is a decent process. You play the transitive property game. You try to infer who the hell is motivated, who's on the field, and you roll the dice from there. I don't know how else to do it. I really don't. It's not like the quote-unquote old days when you knew teams were ready to go. If a guy opted out, 1 or 2 starters, it was news. Like, I remember, I think it was McCaffrey was one of the first to do it. And it was like, whoa, he's not playing in the bowl game. It's super difficult. Why is it so hard to get CFB news during bowl season? I don't know, but it is. It is so difficult. That's why I keep staring to the left. Apologies. I'm just on Twitter randomly searching team names, trying to find beat reporters. It is very difficult to do. And even the information you get a lot of times is not actionable until 1 or 2 minutes before kickoff of, oh yeah, this guy's not with the starters. Oh yeah, this guy's not dressed. It makes it tough. You're going to get burned a little. You're going to get some good spots. It should even out. It's just a higher variance situation. So let's do a quick recap. We'll get out of here. And again, I already told you guys, but if you want bets all day, action from the NFL, there's NFL today, college football, all sorts of, look at all this. Just head over here. This is a free, absolutely free feed of picks. This is quality content from some of the best in the industry. And that's the whole goal behind Tails. We wanted the sharp people. We wanted the entertaining people. We want all the quality content. And that is something for everyone. There is something for everybody here, whether you're looking for really deep data dives, moneyline parlays, lotto tickets, straight bets. It's all here over on Tails. I appreciate you, Paul. The reason it's fun is because people come in, they interact, we sweat together. It makes it a good old time. You really do, man. I'll be dropping some Nova basketball. You got to get over there. Again, start making picks too. It's free to sign up. You can drop picks if you want. You can obviously just follow and tail. You get alerted anytime anyone drops a pick. And the best part, again, there's some premium stuff here, but just get started for free. Absolutely free. Just head over, make a quick account, and just start following people. That's 100% free. No questions asked. If you don't love it, you're getting some free picks every day. There are worse things in the world than that. Worse things in the world than me going over these games, I hope, because I had some fun. Now I have to shovel. So if pending I don't keel over with a heart attack, I'll be back sweating the games later. That would be a hell of a bad call if I do, but we're going to try to prevent that, and we're going to try to cash some tickets today, friends. I appreciate you guys. Thanks again. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. Stay safe out there. Like I said, it is a little nasty with this weather. Good luck and enjoy these games.